Zoom, record.
Oh, all right.
A leisurely 4:20 in the afternoon in my city and abroad. I am Scott Leisure. This is Informed Opinion, and with me, as always, is the trend-setting and you're an engine, is what you are, Selby. You know, there's a lot of there's a lot of cabooses out there in the world, but in a world full of cabooses, let's all strive to be an engine like the lovely Jackie Selby. Good day, my friend.
Good day to you. Thank you. That's a very nice intro. You always give me very nice intro. Kind.
And that was rough logging in. Sorry about the delay. Maybe we'll just change the start time every week to 4:20.
4:20.
We're in Colorado, and then everybody will just tune in, and either we're rolling and they can watch the replay, or you know what else, Jackie? They can go to Spotify. They can go to YouTube. They can go back on our timelines. They can go to my website. Oh, I'm sorry. Now is it too early to vent?
It's yeah, you could go to scottleisure.com. Gosh, for crying out loud. Sorry, I got hair problems. Go ahead.
Jackie is transitioning through a new phase in her hair development. For those of us who have been privileged enough to know Jackie for so long, we know that that's where the trendsetter is, right there in her hair. And look at this thing she's got going tonight. It looks like she just got kicked out of some 80s band. But
sorry, I had headphones on for 8 hours already today. In my day job, yo, which I absolutely love. In case I haven't talked about it lately, I really do like it a lot. Boom. Cash Friday. Tomorrow is Cash Friday.
We have to get that out of the way. That's because then we'll get like 20 minutes down the road talking about all of like this end of world shit that's going on.
Okay, I wanted to make a point real quick about the cash.
Yes.
May I? All right, I had to write it down.
Okay.
Currently, when you use your bank card, no crypto. So currently, when we use our bank card, all the information that the bank transmits to the retail outlet is there enough money in this account? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that happens now with your bank card. With the proposed, in some countries already have it, centralized digital currency. Okay. This is what's going to happen. In real time, there's going to be a transaction, and it looks to see where you are. You will identify where you are and what you're buying. Okay. Before it says yes or no on the purchase.
Risky.
It doesn't have anything to do with how much money is in your account. I mean, it does. That's the third thing it'll look at. Where you are. Are you at King Soopers? Up there on wherever you go? Are you in the Caribbean? Are you allowed to be in the Caribbean? Scott, are you allowed to be there?
It would also know if you were like at an adult bookstore.
That's right. So morally, and they want social and moral things to happen in the future, as we know. What about carbon credits? Maybe you've gone too far with your carbon credits. You've driven your car too far. And so you can't buy anything. I know this sounds like it's the future, but it isn't. It's the now. That's why we want to keep cash alive.
When somebody hacked into my checking account, I was able to locate the furniture store in Texas online where I bought this furniture. Jackie, this was the most god-awful furniture ever. Just, would that have happened? Would that have happened if I was just paying cash all the time? It would have limited the chance of getting skimmed or just whatever. You know, they break into these, you know, all of this hacking, the big time hacking, like the casinos, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yep.
$100 million lost to the MGM system.
We hear, people might get sick of us just preaching about this. And I think to this point, we are now preaching since it's constant. But the swipes and all of that, yeah, it's great, it's convenient, but they want to have that control.
They do. They want to know where you are at all times.
Mhm.
That's why I like cash. It's completely anonymous. I pay for gas at the little gas station and away I go.
Mhm.
By the way, a little tidbit for you.
Yes.
People do not want to support what they don't believe in. So that's why we call this an opinion show. It's just our opinion. Go ahead and go do a little bit more research if that's what you want. And we were talking about end of the world stuff and back of the Bible stuff. And you put up kind of an incendiary image recently. And one of our great followers, his name is Mr. Eldridge, he started firing back with you. Now, this is all to do with politics. And I just want to say one thing about politics is it's politics.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that anybody should be dying. We're not in favor of the future war or the wars that are past, right? Collectively, as informed opinion, we are not warmongers.
No.
We are not in favor of invading countries. We weren't in favor of any invasion since we've been alive. And boy, there have been a bunch of them since you and I have been alive. And the United States backing one side or another of a war, which they're calling the Middle East thing a war now, the Gaza war.
Mm-hmm. Is that the name?
One side or the other. It's just we don't have enough information as the general populace to make any sort of, and it wouldn't do us any good to side with one side or the other. I'm siding with the people who don't deserve to be oppressed and hurt. And I don't believe that everything that they're telling us is everything.
Agreed. Yeah.
We absolutely do not know. And Israel has been, anyway, that part of Asia has been in a whole lot of mess of trouble with wars and perceived wars and takeovers and all those things since the beginning of time.
That sent me to GTS the other day, Jackie, Googling that shit. So the list of wars involving Israel, okay, it's all right there, it's like the same war, it just has different names, 1948, then you go 1950s through the 1960s, 1956, 1967, 67 to 70, 73, 82, 85 to 2000, 87 to 93. It's just constant, this whole timeline, all the way up to 2 years ago there was a big crisis there.
Well, it's a sticky situation because I looked up Gaza and just how big it is, and it's not very big. The Gaza territory, Palestinian Gaza territory, no crypto.
Compared to what size, which state would it be comparative to, Jackie?
I don't think we have a state that's New Hampshire. That's small enough.
It's that small.
It's a very small strip of land. Okay. And a whole lot of Palestinians are jammed in there. I'm just saying. And there's 2 exits that the Israeli army allows them to use. And one of them is down in Egypt. It's an Egyptian gate. And okay, I'm not one side or the other. Just so you know, there's a population of about 25,000 people crammed into every square mile of the Gaza territory. Now, this is a whole lot of people jammed in there, and they don't have the same amount of services and things of this nature that the Israelites do. And that's a huge conflict for such a long time. They don't have the same access to cable TV. I mean, they live at a very low standard in there. And we just don't know enough about this conflict, I feel like. Israel controls one of the exits and Egypt controls the other exit on the north and south side of this little strip of land called the Gaza Strip. And it's a whole heap and helping of mess.
One thing that I can never grasp, I guess, and it goes back to even like Ukraine. Okay, so Ukraine is the size of like Texas, right? Now, Gaza, as you're describing it, is about the equivalent to like, I don't know, like what Oprah owns on Maui. It's about like maybe a little bigger.
It's very small. It's like the size of a county, but
all of these bombs and missiles and this and that. I mean, wouldn't that be like pretty much taken care of quick? Like, how much of Ukraine can we bomb in however long we've been over there, or not us, but can be bombed?
We have to think about that. We have to think about why these things are occurring. I feel like just go a little bit deeper and do a little bit more investigation. And a really good way to do that is to go to an independent source. And I'm not saying that we're it, but there's some really great sources. I've talked about them before. James Corbett is an amazingly, deeply researched and highly intelligent reporter. James Corbett, CorbettReport.com. And he sure has a lot. And then there's this Scottish guy, and he has a thing called Moats, mother of all talk shows, moatstv.com. And he gives a pretty good perspective. I was watching him this morning when I was eating my cereal, getting ready for work. Mm-hmm. But he has a really good perspective on the whole thing. And of course, we all want to jump in and say, we're behind the president and he is pro-Israel. And listen to me, we don't have enough information to make these kinds of judgments just from watching CBS, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, because really they don't give you the whole picture.
Well, yeah.
But I'm not pro one way or the other. I'm just anti-war. If I was alive during Vietnam War, man, I'd have been marching. I would have been right there with Jenny from Forrest Gump marching on.
Jackie would be barefoot and rocking that hippie hair that she's got going on.
Right. I'd be right there with Jenny.
Yeah, no. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody wants anything just corrupt or bad happening, but it happens. And now, remember that Menendez guy that we were talking about last week, the senator,
yes.
the gold bar guy. Mm-hmm. So it's also was giving secrets away to Egypt too, by the way. But what I don't get now, and I tried to on my way home find out if that guy he's still getting paid because he's under indictment, but he hasn't been removed from his post, right? So he is still receiving income, I would assume.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like the who's the other guy that just had the more of the George the other senator. Help me out, Selby.
I'm sorry. I don't know. What did he do?
Oh my gosh.
What didn't he do?
Either way, I mean, these guys are still in office, so they're still getting George Santos.
Oh, Santos, thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
Santos. I mean, he still technically holds his position, right? So he's still getting paid, right? I don't know.
May I mention a very fine Coloradan?
Yes.
His name is Doc Doolittle. Now, right up the road, 176 miles from Gaza City, is Beirut, Lebanon, to the north. Okay, it's a straight line. If you were able to drive right along, you're not allowed to, but if you were allowed to, it'd be 176 miles. Well, 40 years ago, coming up next week, was the Beirut bombing of the Marines base at the Beirut airport, and they were on a peacekeeping mission. And Doc Doolittle is a former Marine, and he is from Colorado. Now, to say that you don't know Doc Doolittle would be, you do know Doc Doolittle, because he worked at every single concert that you ever went to anywhere. You're a Gen Xer. Okay, he has a beard and short hair, and he was in the intelligence agencies and all that stuff after he was a Marine. But anyway, so he's over in Jacksonville where they have a memorial to these people who 273 U.S. Marines were killed when they were on a peacekeeping mission over there. So that part of the world is just, it's always under guns and bombs and wars. And so anyway, so Doc is walking 273 miles around Jacksonville, North Carolina, around the base and around the town and everything. And there have been stories, they've done national news stories, and I'll post a few of them, newspaper articles, and I know that you'll recognize him. And he's also, if you remember, a great broadcaster from Colorado who died like 15 years ago, named Sam Stock. He was a friend of mine. That is his brother-in-law, Doc Doolittle. So anyway, he's over there walking, 62 years old, and his feet are all swollen and got blisters and everything. But he's walking as many miles as he can every single day so people will not forget the Marines that were blown up in Beirut 40 years ago now. So, yep, hats off to him. And I'll post his information if you want to see any of the stories in the Informed Opinion page.
How'd you do that?
You've disappeared. I guess just proof that the region is, oh gosh, it's always been war torn.
And this weekend, we've got the Friday the 13th tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
The solar eclipse on Saturday.
Oh, my goodness.
And one of those terrorist dudes, it's Jihad Day tomorrow too. So any of the, terrorists that have entered the country, probably through Mexico.
Just saying.
Tomorrow, I mean, maybe you're listening. I don't know. If you're listening, tomorrow is Jihad Day. So.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Hey, speaking of independent journalists, and you want to see what's going on the border, this guy's an independent journalist, been reporting on it for a couple of years now, named Jorge Ventura. And I talk about him, but his Instagram feed is really full of real coverage. And he's from Southern California, and he's multilingual, and he walks along the border's edge and talks to people in whatever language. A lot of times it's Spanish, but now they're finding people coming over the border, a lot of Middle Easterners,
India,
and a lot of Africans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just not in.
Well, they can't check them all in. There's not enough services. So they put them on a bus and say, where do you want to go?
Yeah.
So if you want, I know it's real, like, I'll go back to this. People do not support what they do not believe. But if you want to see for your own eyes from independent journalists, please utilize the sources I've mentioned.
It's bad enough we have a homeless problem of our own in this country. Let's just bring some more people in. Remember I told you about the hotel that had the homeless people? They moved them all into that hotel, and I was questioning, like, well, they have to have monitoring services and stuff
in Denver.
Yeah. Like last night or the night before, like there was like a 3-person stabbing at that hotel I was talking about. End of world shit, Selby. End of world.
Are they putting them there on purpose to reduce the population?
Getting them off the streets.
Yikesers.
Yeah. End of world shit, Selby.
Yeah. Guess what this month is?
October.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Remember that when the Rockies were winning, they would
Breast
wear pink
Cancer
socks?
Awareness Month. Yeah.
All right. So I thought I better address this because I saw somebody post, how come nobody talks about ways to beat breast cancer, where it comes from and all that? So I wanted to hit on, don't wear your bra again. Remember, we did the bra unveiling.
Yes, it's creeping up to Nipple November. A few weeks away, people.
Don't wear your bra for longer than 12 hours. That is the maximum. Now you want to do a couple of other things, including some drainage of your lymph drainage. And there's a couple of doctors that I really like what I do with their listing online. And boy, are they good. Talk about lymph drainage.
Can you
you
say
can
that 5 times fast? Lymph drainage.
lymph drainage, lymph drainage, lymph drainage, lymph drainage, lymph drainage. Wow, you disappeared for that.
And I'm back.
So there's a bunch of good doctors, and I'll post their links. But there's also a fellow who I really enjoy reading his stuff, and his name is Master Shao. And the book is called, I don't know if you can see it, Heal Yourself Naturally.
Yeah.
Okay. And he talks about moving the chi around the body using, Chinese techniques. And it's really great. The swimmer guy, that Michael Phelps.
That's swimmer guy. Yeah.
Swimmer guy from the Olympics and all that stuff. Well, you know how he used to utilize cupping, and anybody who gets cupping at the chiropractor or whatever, it leaves these big round red spots, right? Well, this technique is similar to that, only you can do it yourself. So whether you're patting or tapping, whatever, to get your lymph draining, even under the arms, because there's a lot of lymph nodes there. So if you're not wearing your bra too much, and you take some time to do some lymph drainage techniques, and you lay off of endocrine disruptors, you know what those are? Herbicides, additives in our food.
Plastic.
Okay. Plastics. Sure, they disrupt, and that's your lymph is part of your endocrine system. So, they give herbicides and put it in the fields, and then it gets on the crops and gets in the meat and the milk.
Next week, bring the American cheese. So
okay.
We're going to burn it.
For your breast health, drink and eat organic foods. Don't wear your bra too long, and do some drainage techniques for your lymph. You can you can manipulate the breast tissue, and be sure to do your draining, padding under arms and at the termini.
I mean, this is funny. This is funny and all, but men get breast cancer too. So
they do. I know a man who had breast cancer. He and his wife both had it. And it could have been because they were eating fruits and vegetables that came from non-organic sources, because that's just some of the endocrine disruptors. Like you've heard about atrazine and all these things that they put on the food. Monsanto. China. Okay, that's what I had to say. I just wanted to, you can do your thing now, Scott. I had to get those things off my chest.
Fine.
Off my chest.
We can,
get it off my chest. Breast cancer.
Think about the farms that are being bought up here.
Knows.
Throughout the whole United States.
Yeah. Who's buying those?
Gates in China. Well, I don't know. Is Gaza as big as Kansas?
Oh, no, it's just tiny. It's like the size of a small county. If you look up that whole strip of land, Gaza is just this little teeny area. And they got tons of these poor people packed in there like animals. Anyway, I am not pro or con.
Yes. Palestinian
or Israeli. I'm not saying any of that. It's just that it's a complicated issue. I did say that already, didn't I?
I find it interesting that, so they had the big attack over the weekend, right? The big surprise. And Israel knew exactly where to target when they retaliated, This will go into next year as well, I'm sure, through the election. And
election. Oh, that's interesting that you made that. The election and a
war.
And the wars.
That's weird. Yeah. We keep searching for information throughout the live broadcast. Mm-hmm. We are constantly
looking. Dear, what did you get?
Nothing. We are constantly just looking for, things that make us think. Because once your mind starts thinking, then you start thinking outside of the box. Hopefully,
I hope.
Unless you're that narrow-minded.
Yeah.
But people, that's all we're doing here. Um, we'd like to do more. We'd like to bring awareness to maybe your community here. We're basically local out of Denver. Maybe someone has an issue in your community and they need some attention brought to it. We're here to help in that manner as well. We want this thing to grow organically. It progresses a little by little. I don't know if the people that generally regularly listen to this find that, but I think it's true. I think we hold value with our podcast. We send a ton of crap back and forth throughout the week, bouncing ideas and doing all that. And weird shit like this cheese. This lady burns this American craft single. It literally, you can hear it crackling. It's like a bonfire, just crackling. And next week, I'll bring mine, you bring yours. That way we'll be covered.
Let's burn some cheese.
Burn some cheese. So
there's a whole lot that certainly that contains some endocrine disruptors.
Yep. Yeah.
But I feel like people should know, cancer, breast cancer, every type of cancer doesn't just run along the street and then land on you. Mm-hmm. It's from the disrupted body. The body is disrupted in some way, shape, or form. So to keep everything moving and regulated and well hydrated and watered and, pumped and all that stuff, then what can collect if you've got your system moving optimally?
And how can you do that? Through diet? You can do that through sure.
Breathing, meditation,
rest. Yeah, meditation.
And I'm not talking about jumping on the treadmill and going forever, because that can increase your cortisol levels, which is a bad hormonal response for breast cancer. High cortisol levels. So you want to do something that's, stretching and relaxing and wonderful for you. But just think of those, boot camp classes as something that increases your cortisol level, which you don't really want.
Yeah. Okay. So Edwards here, Jackie Edwards says Gaza is the first city to go carbon neutral.
Oh. I didn't know that. That's cool. I'll look it up.
Reg says awesome informed opinion. Heather says doesn't matter if you are genetically predisposed.
So we can all beat those genetic predispositions. We really can. You can say that about diabetes. You can say that about Parkinson's disease. You really can. And sometimes cancer can be the wake-up call that you need to get your body feeling better.
Yeah. So this is where we're at now. We've hit that point in the show, Selby. So if you've listened, if you haven't, kind of the way this will roll, we get all the bad shit out of the way first. That's fair, right?
Yes.
Let's get the ugly shit out of the way. The wars, the jihad, the border, politicians. Money.
International chaos, crisis at the border. There's my song.
Yes. Jackie's got the song. I
do.
2 episodes ago. Go back 2 episodes on the Spotify or on the YouTube. Find it. Listen. That's the name of that episode. I try to give each episode a cute little name and a cute little graphic.
That sure do.
Episode is Crisis at the Border. So
good. Yep. Go to Spotify if you want to hear these things back.
Yeah. It's all right there, people, on the web.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we bring it down. We go through all that heavy shit. And then we, start to bring out a little more spiritual side. We'll get into a couple readings, and we'll try to end this Thursday on a high note. How's that, Selby? That's pretty clear, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we going to go into the songbook?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We could go into
you tell me what.
Yeah, let's do that first. Let's start off. So Jackie and I, we've known each other for a long time. One of our bonds is music.
You bet.
And we have this massive book that I did at some thrift shopping, popping tags. 1,001 songs you must hear before you die.
Love it.
We're probably up to 699. Speaking of numbers, our approval rating today, Selby, 271.
Hey. Woohoo.
Moving
It's
on
a high
up.
approval rating. We could get reelected.
Our first song, dun, 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 Marvin Gaye. I heard it through the grapevine.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Heard it through the grapevine.
Bet you're wondering how I knew about your plans to make me blue. Tracy Chapman Fast Car.
Oh.
Nice songs for this episode. Prices at the border. Jackie's got a new song. Love it. Okay.
You want your proverb? I have a proverb.
Let me tell you, I went to the Holistic Fair the other night.
Oh.
In Colorado Springs.
Yes, please tell.
Okay. Two really cool experiences. Actually, you go to those things, you meet a lot of cool people, you learn a ton of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Go in open-minded, absorb what's in there, and leave better. You always leave better. Met some cool people, got to talking to them. So there is where's my telefono? Native American, and I'm not even going to go there. There's a Native American ritual, I guess would be a good word, of rape.
Okay.
So the tobacco, so rape is a tobacco ceremony.
All right.
Native Americans, tobacco is very ceremonious.
Yes, it is.
Americans, yes. Mm-hmm. It's a cleansing. I did not experience some of these side effects, just to be straight. No vomiting. No vomiting. No diarrhea. Okay, that might be the first time we've used that word on the podcast.
Wow, there we did it now.
No sweating. I did not have any of that. It's snuff is what it is. They take the tobacco leaves, they dry them, and they take a bone, which is hollow like a pipe kind of, but it's just one straight, and he packs it, and you set your intention.
Okay.
And then he just blows that dust right up your nose.
Wow.
It's not for the weak. I will say that. It's pretty intense. There is on my own personal Facebook page, scroll back to Saturday.
Okay.
And there's some videos of me getting this stuff puffed right up my nose. My eyes were going and
Did
then
you sneeze?
I don't remember sneezing. But after he does the one nostril, then you're like, whoa, because the one nostril is a blast. Then you're like, damn, he's going to do my other nostril too. It was intense. It leaves you a little lightheaded. And as far as a cleansing, I felt more, I guess I did feel cleaner just because my head had been blown out by dried
tobacco
stuff. Yeah. In that sense, I did feel a little revived. And I walked around lightheaded for a while, but other than that, I can never say I would never try it again, but it's probably not going to be on my list again.
Okay.
It was opening though. I mean, it's things like that. They open your mind. That's what we try to do on the podcast. I mean, then we'll try to bring it out. We went, like we said, we went to some pretty deep stuff, and now we're on our way out. We're on our way out.
All right. You want the proverb? My proverb?
Proverb or the Bible? Which do we
Bible.
want?
All right, let's do Bible.
Let's do Bible. My thrift store Bible.
It's a little wonky. I'm not going to lie to you.
We probably should dip way to the back since that's where we're at. Back of Bible
We're living
time.
in the back. Yep.
Yeah, we're living in the back of the Bible. Some jihad revelation shit going on. Hebrews. Here, this is out of Hebrews.
Great.
Hebrews 10. The law is only a shadow of the good things that are coming, not the realities themselves. For this reason, it can never, by the same sacrifices repeated endlessly year after year, make perfect those who draw near to worship. If it could, would they not have stopped being offered? This is and then it doesn't really
tar out of me.
But thy shall not buy up thy lands, spray thy vegetables, and melt thy cheese. Burn thy cheese.
Burn thy cheese.
It doesn't melt. It doesn't melt, Selby. The cheese doesn't
burns.
Melt. It cracks.
Wow.
Okay. Let me what are you gonna do
You'll
for
like this?
That solar eclipse, Selby?
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Where's my feather?
Do you get to see the solar eclipse on your side of the Mississippi there?
Yes. Are you ready for my proverb? I've been waiting to give this to you. You're gonna love it.
I already do.
Okay. All right. There are hundreds of paths. Wait, go back. There are hundreds of paths up the mountain, all leading to the same place. So it doesn't matter which path you take. The only person wasting time is the one who runs around the mountain, telling everyone that his or her path is wrong.
I do like that.
That is a Hindi proverb. So don't waste your time running around saying that the other person's path is wrong. Just get going up the mountain. Get
right back to the 4 agreements right there. Just do your best, be impeccable with your word. Don't make assumptions, and if you're making assumptions and you're taking things personal, you're that guy that Jackie's talking about. Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter who started it, who broke down whose border. People are getting murdered, slaughtered. We got to do better than that.
So do your part. I mean, get out there, get some information in your system. You know, all you can do is try. If you're just going out, grabbing yourself a 12 bagger of tacos from Taco Bell and playing, nothing against that, nothing against, playing video games all night, but
go for a walk. Jesus.
Get some air.
Hug a tree, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm. Experience something. Try something new.
Put your feet on the ground. Set your phone down.
Yeah. Create some art. Try something new. Yeah. Set your phone. That holistic fair, I had forgotten my phone. I was totally disconnected from it. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Get some cardio. Pay cash. Protect yourself. Stay vigilant. Look out for jihad. They're supposedly on the loose tomorrow. It would have been cooler if it was Halloween. It would have all lined right up. But just on a serious note, be safe. Watch your back. Don't let people skim your credit card if you can't pay cash. Listen to some Marvin Gaye. Don't speed.
What else can we offer?
Watch out for the other guy. I have to admit, the whole episode, I could not figure out what in the hell is going on with your hair, Selby.
I don't know either. I'm telling you, I don't know. It's just, it needs to be cut. That's for sure.
It was very distracting.
I'm sorry about it.
It's okay.
I'm sure you're not the only one to feel that way today.
Well, have you seen my hair? So,
yes.
anyhow, that's informed opinion for,
Good job.
for Thursday night. Let's get on with our lives. Go Broncos. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Subscribing to the Spotify. Be subscribing to the YouTube. Be sharing our posts. Be loving our posts. Give us feedback. Keep us in your heads. And drink your water, please.
Stay
Please.
hydrated.
I said please.
Bye, Scott.
Later.